So, just a disclaimer, no one has a problem with diverse storylines. Um, you know, black characters, women. I love that one that they bring up, like, oh, you just hate female characters or whatever. And then you go back to like Star Wars and Carrie Fisher as Princess Leia. Clearly, it's not the woman. Maybe it's just the character is terrible. But who knows? One of the great mysteries of the universe. But storylines have been cut. This is TheGamer, by the way, so totally non-biased. Storylines have been cut. Baldur's Gate 3 actor warns that diversity is being removed from some games. Diversity as in, like, the forced diversity? Like, hey, we have a black character. Oh, cool. What's their personality? What do you mean? Well, what's their personality? What do you mean that what's they're black? Okay, but why should I care about them? Oh, so you're saying you don't care about black people, so you're a fucking racist. No, I just can't relate to a person just because of their skin color. Oh, so you're fucking racist. You know, those characters. Or, oh, we're going to introduce a woman. Oh, great, awesome, woman. But she's going to be strong and independent, and she don't need no man, and she's going to spend every moment that she's on screen just putting men in their place. Oh, so she's a girl boss. Oh, so you don't like women. You know, those kinds of characters. But if they feel genuine and you can relate to them, there's nothing wrong with that. That's what people want. People want characters that you can relate to. But that's not what we're getting. We're getting one-dimensional, stereotypical characters. Uh, Ever since evil orange man, the walking Cheeto himself, Donald Trump, his win in the 2024 U.S. presidential election, companies and their executives were quick to try and curry favor with the president. This included ditching DEI initiatives and policies. Good. You know, they want to call us racist, but when you are going out of your way to hire people based on their skin color, you are in fact racist. If you're going out of your way to hire 50% more black people by the year 2030, you are in fact racist. You are putting one race above other races. You are discriminating against an entire race of people. You are in fact the racist, but using racism to fight racism makes sense to me. What's your problem? Which even more companies later joined them on, following an anti-DEI executive order from Trump. While many of these initiatives were strictly about hiring practices, the sentiment being this shift in policy was felt everywhere, with the rise in racist, transphobic, and other bigoted laws and attitudes across the United States and beyond. Now it seems that the gaming industry is not immune to this either. Speaking with me in an interview that will be published tomorrow, which one day ago, so it should be posted by now. Actor Samantha Baert, who plays Karlach in Baldur's Gate 3, tells me tells me they are already aware of game devs who have had their work censored, as the industry appears to be bowing down to regressive politics of Trump's second term. Or just maybe some of these companies, you know, like others have commented on, maybe some of these companies were being forced into doing some of this crap by their, you know, by the generous benefactors, by their investors, and like, hey, if you don't have uh, super gay shit, then we're not gonna, you know, maybe now that we're in an age where people aren't so afraid of not having that. Where before with the last administration, people were terrified of, oh no, I don't want to be considered racist or homophobe. Now it's like, okay, by this point, those words have been so overused. So we're gonna make the games that we want to make, and no one can tell me otherwise because we're gonna do what we want. Um, but it's to the point where, and now obviously companies, a lot of companies, um, you have stuff like BioWare, Obsidian, where you've got fucking douchebag Matt Hansen, like, oh hey guys, if you're black, your portfolio takes top priority because this place is just filled with too many crusty white dudes, and so of course you have companies that are prioritizing that shit. But now with Trump in charge, companies no longer feel the need to cater, or if they're smart enough, they'll no longer feel the need to cater to a small demographic that they know, one, aren't even going to play the game anyway, and two, are always going to find something to complain about it. You know, it's, oh yeah, we made a black character. Oh, this character's not black enough. Well then, fuck you then. Fuck you then. Queer stories might be getting censored in games. Depends. Is it pertinent to the story, or are you just throwing in queer characters for the sake of having queer characters? You know, is it going to be plot driven, or are you just like, oh hey, we need some time to fill up the game, let's just make some queer shit? You know, it's the matter of how you go about it. If you're adding queer characters or storylines or whatever for the sake of adding them, people aren't going to relate to them, and then you get the LGBTQ plus community coming out saying, hey, this isn't representation, we don't feel connected to this. But then the companies come out and just disregard everything that that community said, and instead place the blame on the evil right wingers and evil white supremacists, instead of listening to the fact that the community who you're catering to and pandering to, they don't like what you're doing because it doesn't feel genuine. I mean, all you have to do is look no further than, Dragon Age: The Failguard. You have this person like, oh yeah, top surgery scars, oh my gosh. But then they come out after the game comes out and after they played and like, oh, I don't think BioWare actually cares about us. You think? You think? The characters weren't relatable. They were one-dimensional. They were stereotypical. Like, Tosh was exactly the kind of person you expect to see on, like, fucking Tumblr or Reddit, just whining about her fucking pronouns and her identity. And, oh my god, do you not know what it's like to not be comfortable with who you are? And you think I like being like this? It starts conversation with, I'm non-binary. She's exactly the kind of stereotype that people think of when they think of that kind of person. That does more harm than anything to a community. So, if the thing is genuine, if the character is genuine and not just some fucking stereotype, one-dimensional character thrown in for then that's fine. But you need, like, characters, they need to be relatable. You know, we can find characters to relate to. Guess what? Characters that we relate to don't always have to be, most of the time for normal people, we don't even have to look like them. Little kids, little white boys growing up in the 90s were able to look up to Uncle Phil and Carl Winslow. Why? Not because of what they looked like, but what they stood for. I loved Uncle Phil. Watching Fresh Prince, I still love him. To look back at that character, and it had a lot to do with James Avery being just an amazing actor. Knowing what his character is, especially now you see him. He even says in the show several times, he brings up race, and that if he let people hold him down, and if he saw himself as a victim, he wouldn't have gotten to where he is. That is a great message. A great message for kids. Do not let anyone hold you back. This man, who is a black man, saying, I didn't let them hold me back. I didn't let them hold me back at all. I wouldn't be where I am today if I let myself give into that victimhood and listen to what all these ignorant people are saying. And even me, as a white dude, can look at that and appreciate and relate to that. Because even though I'm not black, I have that sentiment as well. It's not other people who are holding you back, it's yourself. So when you fail in life, don't blame the white man, or don't blame society, blame yourself. Or you see Carl Winslow, completely opposite. You have James Avery, who plays Uncle Phil. Uncle Phil, very successful, very large, beautiful house. And then you have Carl Winslow, who lives more modest life, who doesn't really have a lot of money, but he's a good father. He's there for his children, teaching them the life lessons they need to learn in his own wacky, it's Family Matters, so its own wacky way. But they were good characters. So just because their skin color was different, you could still relate to them. Hell, people relate to characters that aren't even human. You have a game where you can play as a cat the entire time, and people will relate to that character. They don't have to be human, as long as it's a good character or something relatable. But these people care so much about the superficial shit, the skin color and and then when their games fail, because no one feels, that their characters aren't relatable, oh, you're just a phobus and ism. Also, people people just love the fact that Chloe decided, in all her wisdom, to break up with Max through a letter. And it's like, oh hey, yeah, thanks for saving my life, and all that. But I thought we could have a normal life together, and so I'm gonna break up with you via a letter. Just a letter. Have a great life. This came in my chat with Bert, when I asked if in our current climate they feared that games as diverse as Baldur's Gate 3 would struggle to be greenlit now. Why would they struggle? Again, are the characters relatable? Is it genuine diversity? Or is it, oh hey, we're gonna stick a trans person in there and they're just gonna be trans. That's their entire personality. There's a big difference. People are tired of the forced stuff. Without exposing devs, I know that's happening. The storylines have been cut. Historically, appeasement is a really bad thing, and yet these companies are trying to appease constantly. Whether it's these innocent companies having to appease the higher ups, or thinking that, oh, we should do this and appease the gamer base, the 0.00001% of people who actually can care about the shit. So they're just as guilty of appeasement as anyone else, because they try to appease to that small minority, only to find out, oh gee, no one's buying our game. No one's buying our game because our characters are so poorly written, and the storyline sucks, and the only thing I hear about our game is, it looks nice. Despite this, they are optimistic that this won't last forever. Indies exist, and people can write, and communities will get together, and we will absolutely get through this together. Fight the power, man. This also comes amid the revival of the Gamergate movement, which is seeing developers, journalists, and many others in the gaming industry harassed online. You mean after they come out and harass other people first? Coming out and calling entire fan bases garbage, saying that if you don't like a character, you're a phobus and ism, or you're a far right extremist, or you're a fucking Nazi. When you start doing that shit, you open yourself to criticism. Now, death threats, those don't fly. If you're sending death threats to someone, you're a fucking loser. But if it's genuinely just you're criticizing them, they open themselves up to it by calling you garbage. They open themselves up to it by saying that, oh well, if you don't like this black female character who's just a stereotypical black female character, you're a fucking racist. If you can't take the criticism, keep your mouth shut. It also means we often see the argument that games with characters that are non-white and or queer will sell poorly. Again, is it genuine? Or are they simply placed there to basically take up space? Because again, gay characters, female character, strong female, they've existed. And I keep going back to Galadriel in Lord of the Rings. This chick is badass in every way. This chick is so powerful, she doesn't need to do any flexing. She merely stands in one's presence, and they bow to her. Her name alone strikes fear into hearts of people. That is a strong, powerful woman. A strong, powerful woman who is also very elegant and feminine. Nowadays, you can't have a strong, powerful female and feminine at the same time. But Galadriel, she does. She's very feminine, very considerate. She's strong and powerful, but she also knows that sometimes she might need help. She's not, oh, I'm going to stick it to the men. I can do everything men can do, but better. No. She is what women should strive to be. Again, I think I said at the beginning of the video, Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia. That was what, 1974? So people don't have a problem with female characters or gay characters or whatever. It's how they're written. And if you have a character that is written solely to fill that whole box of they're gay, they're this, they're not going to do well. And that's in a game, that's going to bring the game down. It's going to bring the movie down. It's going to bring whatever it is, it's going to bring it down. And especially nowadays, people are tired of being pandered to. People are tired of being preached to. And quite frankly, people are more willing to fight back against it because we're living in an age now where a couple years ago, people had to worry about being canceled. People aren't afraid of that anymore because those words that the lot were throwing around of your phobe is they have no meaning anymore. Well, how would you like it if I called your? So you're perfectly fine if I called your parents and go ahead. In fact, I will call them myself. I will call them myself. And then they're like, oh, well, you're just a Nazi. Okay, thanks. I'll fucking Hitler, bitch. I mean, like, these words mean nothing. Um, but when you have forced crap in games, when you have a game and the only thing people are really saying about it is that it looks nice. Baldur's Gate 3 quite obviously disproved that, as it was reported to have sold 15 million copies as of November 2024. As Barrett alludes to, not everyone in the industry is going backwards. The indie scene can be more creating more freedom, be not worried about publishers too. This also isn't the first time we've had to come back from first. This also isn't anything we haven't come back from before. As back in the 2000s, we saw Mass Effect 2 devs forced to write out a queer romance for the companion Jack in responses to negative attention from Fox News. Uh-oh, Fox News. Oh yeah, Fox News, the boogeyman of the left. the left, which they own and operate CNN, MSNBC, NBC, ABC, uh, Washington Post, Huffington Post, you name it. They control the media. But steer clear of Fox News. Which Fox News is bullshit as well. Only people like fucking 70 years old and 70 years and older fucking watch Fox News. And I doubt they're even watching it. They're probably just they're in their chair and they're like. But Fox News, along with every other news outlet, is fucking bullshit. Um, but I love how they're so afraid of Fox News. They control the media and every other media outlet, and they're afraid of Fox News. One little in the sea of left-wing run outlets, they're afraid of Fox News. So Fox News either has no power or all the power. We've certainly come a long way since then, with plenty of games allowing for queer romances now, because that's all important. And it doesn't even matter if they're good romances. It's just there for representation. And representation is what matters the most. Not a good story, not good characters that are relatable, not good gameplay. No, 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 none of that. But it's again part of the course for 2020 or just current day. You know, diversity is fine as long as it's genuine. You know, if it's, hey, let's add this gay character for the sake of adding a gay character, and it doesn't work, people will see through it. And of course, you have games that have done this, and you have the LGBTQ plus community coming out saying, hey, can you stop using us as props? And those people get ignored. And then instead, all the blame gets shifted to the evil right-wing Nazi, homophobe, transphobes, bigots, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, so you want diversity. You care about people getting representation. Then the people who you pander to are telling you that these characters are terrible, their storylines are terrible. And then instead of listening to them, which you say people should listen to them, especially if they're a minority, instead of listening to these minorities that you tell others that they should listen to, instead you just ignore them and put all the blame onto right-wingers. Gee, can't imagine why games are going downhill, or anything really. Games, comics, movies, TV, name it. It's all going downhill because it's just different medium, same formula. You got a movie with forced characters, people come out against it. Oh, you're just a phobe, it's an ism. Game, you got a character that's stuck in there, and their entire shtick is that they're gay. No, you don't like it, you're phobe, it's an ism. You got a comic book, different medium, same excuses, same thing. Lather, rinse, repeat. So, cutting these storylines is fine if they're going to be replaced with genuine storylines where you can actually relate to them. But these people, these big brain, college educated individuals can't seem to write a good story. So, you know, they want to give you gay characters, and then they're always stereotypical gay characters. They want to give you black characters, but then they're typical black characters. They give you someone like Tosh, and they are the most annoying fucking character. And again, it does more harm than good, because people look at someone like Tosh, and people are like, oh, well, that's kind of how that community is, isn't it? They want to complain about getting the respect, but they want to give no respect in return. They just demand that you respect them. And that's what Tosh is. She demands respect while wanting to give no respect in return. And because of that just adds to the stereotype of that community. But whatever. Current day. If storylines have to be cut, so be it. Maybe you should learn to write better. But that's going to do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.